ever stare at your cat and wonder, what on earth is going on in that furry little head? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the wonderfully weird world of cat quirks. We've put together a top 10 list of the funniest things house cats do. Get ready to laugh. You might even recognise your own feline friend in one of these. I promise after this video, you'll be looking at your cat with an even bigger smile. Cats are truly mysterious creatures. Their ancestors were skilled hunters, solitary animals used to relying on themselves. Many of their seemingly strange behaviours today are echoes of that wild past. It's just that, in a domestic setting, these instincts have morphed into something, well, hilariously odd. Of course, every cat is a unique individual with their own set of eccentricities, but there are some habits that unite many purr machines and either make us melt with affection or burst out laughing. So, let's explore what hilarious antics our furry friends get up to. Alright, cat lovers, let's dive into our top 10 list of the funniest cat habits. Coming in at number 10, we have something pretty much every cat owner knows and loves, or tolerates, the midnight zoomies. Picture this, total silence in the house. Your furry friend is peacefully napping on the couch, or maybe grooming themselves with the utmost feline grace. Then bam! Out of nowhere, they're jolted to life, like a bolt of lightning struck. Their eyes widen, their ears flatten, and they take off at warp speed. They're tearing through the house like a furry little meteor, jumping on furniture, sliding across the floor, bouncing off the walls like a ninja warrior. It's like they're defying the laws of physics and the noise, especially if they decide to do this while you're fast asleep. I'm sure a lot of you are smiling knowingly right now. So, what's really behind this sudden burst of energy? Experts say it's a classic case of pent-up energy release. Cats, even the laziest ones, are predators at heart. They're hardwired with the instinct to hunt, chase, and move. If a cat spends most of the day relaxing indoors, that unspent energy has to go somewhere. So, these short, intense bursts of activity help them blow off steam. It's especially common in kittens and indoor cats who don't have access to the great outdoors. It's just their way of getting exercise in a confined space. Of course, there are other, more hilarious theories that cat owners like to joke about. Maybe your cat saw a ghost, or they're battling an invisible enemy that we humans can't perceive. Or maybe they're just showing off how fast, agile and enthusiastic they are. Sometimes these zoomies are accompanied by playful hops, rolls, and even funny little battle cries. It's a pure expression of feline joy and a desire to play. So if your kitty suddenly decides to do a crazy marathon around the house, don't worry. They're probably just happy and full of energy. And that's definitely one of the habits that makes our cats so unique and lovable, even if they are a little noisy. So, alright, let's keep rolling through our list of feline follies, and coming in at a respectable number 9 on our countdown of hilarious cat quirks. They're totally inexplicable, all-consuming, almost obsessive love affair with boxes. Yep, you heard that right. Plain old cardboard boxes. It's like, for a cat, there's nothing more irresistible. Doesn't matter the size. Whether it's a massive box your new fridge came in, or a tiny little thing that held a piece of jewellery, you can bet your bottom dollar your cat's going to try to squeeze into it. And the best part is, they genuinely believe they can fit, even when half their body and their tail are sticking out. Watching a big majestic cat trying to cram themselves into a box that's clearly way too small is enough to crack anyone up. They'll twist, they'll flatten the cardboard, they'll try to contort themselves into the most ridiculous pretzel shapes, all just to get inside that coveted cardboard haven. Sometimes you've got to wonder if cats think boxes are portals to another dimension or something, and if there's more than one box, oh, then the real estate battle begins. So what's the deal? What is it about these seemingly simple objects that drives our furry friends wild? Actually, there's some pretty logical explanations behind the obsession, rooted in their wild instincts. First off, a box gives a cat a sense of security and safety. It's an enclosed space where they can hide, feel protected, like they're in a den. In the wild, these kinds of hiding places are a lifesaver from predators, and allow them to relax undisturbed. Even if the only predator in your house is the vacuum cleaner, those instincts kick in. Secondly, a box makes a great observation post and ambush spot. Sitting inside, the cat can keep a low profile and keep an eye on everything going on. And then, when the moment's right, pounce on their prey, whether that's your ankle or a toy mouse. The third big thing is comfort and warmth. Cardboard is a decent insulator and the box keeps the cat warm and cosy. Plus, that confined space helps them conserve body heat. Some studies even suggest that being in a box helps cats reduce their stress levels, especially in new or unfamiliar environments. So, next time your cat enthusiastically leaps into an empty box, remember, it's not just a game to them. It's their personal fortress, their safe haven, their cosy little nest, and of course, an endless source of entertainment for us. After all, watching a serious proud predator turn into a goofy cardboard explorer is absolutely priceless. Alright, let's keep the countdown of feline quirks going. Coming in at number 8 on our list of strange cat behaviours that are sure to evoke all sorts of reactions from us humans, ranging from mild confusion to outright laughter, and maybe even a slight case of the creeps. It's that intense, unwavering stare into absolutely nothing. Let's be honest, it can be a little spooky, but also pretty hilarious, right? Your cat's just chilling, perfectly relaxed. Then all of a sudden, their gaze gets locked onto a certain spot, on the wall, on the ceiling, in the corner of the room, a spot where, as far as you can tell, there's absolutely nada, and they can stay like that for minutes, not even blinking, like they're totally mesmerised. Sometimes they might even slowly turn their head, as if they're tracking something invisible moving around the room. In moments like that, you can't help but start looking around yourself, trying to figure out what's got your furry friend so captivated. And when you come up empty, your imagination just kicks into overdrive. So, what exactly do cats see when we only see a blank wall? Well, folklore and internet memes are quick to offer up some pretty wild theories. Of course, the most popular one is that cats can see ghosts, spirits, or entities from other dimensions. They're considered to be conduits between worlds, aren't they? Or maybe your cat's communicating with some unseen feline ancestors, getting some crucial instructions. Or it could be they've just spotted a microscopic dust particle that looks like an alien spaceship to their super sharp eyesight. The options are endless, and each one is more amusing than the last. Some owners even start talking to their cats during these moments, hoping to find out what's going on. The response, more often than not, is a silent and mysterious meow. But if we're setting aside the spooky stuff, there are some less mystical explanations for this habit. First off, cats have incredibly sensitive hearing. They can pick up sounds in a range that's way beyond what we humans can even detect. Your cat might be hearing a mouse scurrying under the floorboards, or a bug crawling behind the wall. Or it could just be the sound of the pipes that sounds like a full-blown symphony to them. Secondly, their vision is also far superior to ours, especially in low light. They can spot the tiniest movement, subtle plays of light and shadow, a dust particle floating in the air, or a tiny insect that we would never even notice. So, your cat might just be meticulously studying their environment in all its intricate detail. And, like us, sometimes cats just zone out, lost in their feline thoughts. Who knows what your cat is thinking about in those moments? Maybe they're plotting world domination, or maybe they're just deciding what they want for dinner. Either way, this habit of staring intently at nothing just adds to their mysterious and charming aura. And even if we don't always understand what's going on in their furry little heads, watching them is pure entertainment, isn't it? Alright, let's dive into number 7 on our list of hilarious cat habits. The epic, completely one-sided battles with their own body parts. Yep, you heard right. That sweet, furry ball of joy can suddenly morph into a ferocious predator and the target of their fury. Their own tail or paws. Picture this. Your cat's chilling, maybe even dozing off, when suddenly their tail develops a mind of its own. It twitches, it wiggles, almost like it's taunting them. Instantly their focus locks on this cheeky appendage. Ears flatten, pupils dilate, and before you know it, they're stalking their own tail like they're on a real hunt. Then bam! They pounce, grabbing that tail with their paws, biting it, wrestling with it, like it's their arch nemesis, daring to invade their territory. Sometimes the fight is so dramatic, you think they were about to win a decisive victory over this traitorous extension. The same goes for their back, and sometimes even front paws. A cat may stare at their paw in confusion, then begin playfully nipping or even boxing with it. So, what makes these seemingly intelligent creatures wage war on themselves? Well, first off, it's playfulness and boredom, especially in younger kittens and active cats. Their tail or paw is the most readily available, always game toy. It moves, it reacts, though not always how the cat intends. And it's a perfect opportunity to practice their hunting skills, stalking, pouncing, and capturing. It's like training for the real deal, even if their only prey is your slippers. The tail, with its natural movement, is particularly good at mimicking the movements of small prey, like a mouse or lizard, triggering their primal instincts. Sometimes this behaviour can be linked to grooming. A cat might be meticulously licking their tail when a sensation, a tickle or a slight sting from overzealous licking, triggers a playful attack. On rare occasions, if a cat is excessively and aggressively biting their tail, it could be a sign of stress, anxiety, or even a medical issue, like fleas or allergies causing itchiness. But most of the time, it's just a harmless and hilarious quirk of cat nature. It's their way of entertaining themselves, burning off energy, and just being a little goofy. Watching your cat wage a serious battle with their own tail is truly priceless. It's a constant reminder of how wonderfully weird and unpredictable these furry creatures can be. And it's precisely these little oddities that make us love them so much. All right, moving right along in our countdown of quirky cat behaviours. Landing comfortably at number 6 is that endearing, slightly frustrating, and ultimately puzzling habit cats have of helping us with absolutely everything. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. You sit down at your computer to work or just browse the internet, and bam! There's your feline friend, magically appearing on the keyboard. They might gracefully stretch out across all the keys, decide to take a nap right there, or start batting at the cursor on the screen with great interest. Trying to gently move them usually just results in them stubbornly returning to their workspace. And what about reading a book or newspaper? The moment you get absorbed in the text, a cat face or fluffy tail is sure to appear, completely blocking your view. And of course, the classic, freshly laundered and neatly folded clothes. They're like a magnet for cats. You turn your back for a second, and your perfect pet is already perched on top of the pristine stack, like they're on a throne. It seems like they consider it their duty to personally inspect and approve every item in the house, especially the one you're currently focused on. So why do they do this? Do they honestly think their interference is making us more productive, or the laundry cleaner? One of the main reasons, of course, is their need for attention. When you're engrossed in something, whether it's work, a book, or even ironing, your attention is completely taken up by that activity. And cats don't like that. They want to be the centre of your universe. By lying on your desk or book, they're basically saying, "Hey, pay attention to me. I'm here, and I'm more important than that boring thing." It's their way of reminding you that they exist and getting some love. Another reason is warmth. A laptop keyboard, for example, is often nice and toasty, and fresh laundry straight from the dryer is like heaven for comfort-loving cats. Cats adore warm, cosy spots. Plus, it could be a display of territorial behaviour. By lying on your stuff, your cat is leaving their scent, marking it as their property, and integrating themselves into your personal space. Or maybe they're just curious and want to be in the know about everything. If their human is staring at this flat, glowing thing for so long, there must be something interesting happening. And even though this kind of help can be a little disruptive sometimes, especially when you have deadlines or need to send an important email ASAP, it's hard to stay mad at these furry little helpers for long. Their sincere desire to be near you, their cute faces peeking out from under a book, or the purring that accompanies their keyboard nap, It all makes you smile more than frown, because in the end, it's just another expression of their love and affection for us, simply because they can and because we let them. All right, so we've passed the halfway point of our countdown, and coming in at number 5 of the funniest cat habits is a scene many of us have witnessed with complete bewilderment. It's the ritualistic, methodical, and utterly mysterious burying of food on a perfectly clean floor. Picture this. You've just given your cat a fresh bowl of food. They happily munch away, leaving a little bit in the bowl, or maybe they even finish it all. And that's when the fun begins. Instead of walking away satisfied or starting to groom, your cat suddenly starts scratching at the floor around the bowl like crazy. They might do it on one side, then the other, with such focus as if they're digging a real hole or covering the leftovers with invisible dirt. They might even make funny puffing sounds or wrinkle their nose in concentration. Watching this, you can't help but wonder, what are you doing, sweetie? There's no sand or dirt here. But the cat continues its burying with determination, sometimes even trying to scoop an imaginary pile onto the bowl. It's especially hilarious when the floor is perfectly clean and smooth, like tile or laminate. So, where does this strange habit come from? The answer, like many other feline quirks, lies in their wild instincts. In the wild, cats will often try to hide the remains of their kill after they've eaten. There are a few reasons for this. First, to prevent the smell of food from attracting other predators or scavengers who might become competitors or even pose a threat. Second, to save the food for later, in case the next hunt isn't successful. So, burying is an instinctive behaviour aimed at ensuring safety and conserving resources. And although your house cat lives in complete safety and always has plenty of food, this ancient instinct is still very strong. Interestingly, not all cats display this habit in the same way. Some do it after every meal, others only sometimes, and still others never do it at all. This can depend on the cat's individual characteristics, their breed, and even how much they like the food. Sometimes cats might bury an empty bowl, which could be a sign that they didn't like the food, or they're trying to tell you it's time to wash it. It's also been observed that cats who used to live on the streets or were rescued are more likely to exhibit this behaviour, as their survival instincts may be more developed. So, if your cat is diligently scratching the floor around their bowl, don't be surprised or scold them. They're just following the call of their ancestors, trying to be cautious and resourceful, even if the only thing they're burying is air. It's just another proof of how amazing and complex our pets are, even in the most seemingly simple and everyday situations. And of course, it's a great reason to smile at their funny antics once again. All right, let's get into the top 4 of our countdown of hilarious cat habits. At number 4, we have a behaviour that can test the patience of even the most dedicated cat owner, yet it possesses a certain feline charm and humour. The methodical, deliberate, and often theatrical act of pushing things off tables, shelves, and any other horizontal surface. You know the scene. Your cat gracefully leaps onto a table or shelf. They carefully survey the landscape, pens, vases, figurines, your phone, anything that isn't nailed down. Their gaze then locks onto a specific target. They approach it, stare intently, and then, hilariously, often glance at you as if checking to see if you're watching. After a dramatic pause, with a swift, precise flick of the paw, they send the object flying. Crash! And just like that, your favourite mug or vacation souvenir is on the floor, possibly in pieces. And the cat? They observe the aftermath with a look of utter nonchalance, or even more amusingly, peer over the edge of the table, curious about where that interesting thing landed. Sometimes it feels like they're doing it purely for the joy of causing a little mayhem. But why do they do it? Are they truly getting a kick out of seeing us frustrated or annoyed? The truth is, there can be several reasons behind this behaviour, and they're not always malicious. First, it could simply be a manifestation of their exploratory instinct and curiosity. Cats learn about the world through touch and interaction. A gentle nudge with a paw is a way of testing what an object is, how it moves, and what sound it makes when it falls. For them, it's a kind of scientific experiment. Secondly, it can be a way to get your attention. If a cat is bored or hungry and you're not paying attention, they quickly learn that a loud object hitting the floor is a surefire way to make you stop what you're doing and look at them. And if it works, the behaviour is reinforced. Your cat basically figures out, aha, if I knock something over, the human comes running. Additionally, it could be a form of play. For a cat, a moving and then falling object can simulate prey. They push it, it moves, they hunt it. This is especially common in young and playful cats. And of course, we can't forget that cats are natural hunters. Their paws are incredibly sensitive, and they use them to investigate the texture, weight, and mobility of objects. A light tap or nudge is their way of feeling out their environment. And while a broken vase or a scratched phone is definitely annoying, it's hard not to crack a smile when you see that mischievous face staring innocently at the result of their actions. Maybe they're just testing the laws of gravity or conducting secret feline experiments. Either way, this habit is another reminder that life with a cat is never boring. And yeah, you should probably move anything valuable or breakable to a higher shelf. Okay, here's a translation of your text, aiming for a natural conversational tone that would work well for a voiceover. English. All right, let's dive into the top 3 funniest and cutest cat habits. Coming in at number 3, we have a classic move familiar to anyone who's ever had a cat on their lap, the famous kneading, also sometimes called making biscuits. And, yeah, it often comes with a side of, ow! Picture this, you're chilling on the couch and your feline friend decides to join you. They hop on your lap, start purring like a tiny motor, and then the rhythmic paw action begins. It's like they're baking a loaf of bread right on your thighs. They look so focused, maybe their eyes are half closed with contentment, and the purring is at full volume. It seems like they're putting their whole cat soul into this kneading session. But here's the catch. Those little claws come out. The sensation can range from a gentle tickle to a sharp prick, especially if you're wearing shorts or a thin shirt. Sometimes you just have to grit your teeth and bear it to avoid interrupting this precious moment of kitty affection. So, why do cats do this? Kneading is a deeply ingrained instinct from kittenhood. When kittens nurse, they instinctively push on their mother's belly to stimulate milk flow. It's associated with comfort, security, and the feeling of being loved and cared for. So, when an adult cat needs you, it means they feel safe, happy, and totally relaxed, like they did with their mom. It's a major sign of trust and bonding. They're basically saying, "You're my safe place. I love you." The claw thing? That's part of the instinct too. Kittens use their claws to get a better grip while nursing. Adult cats don't realise they are doing it and aren't trying to hurt you. It's just an automatic part of the kneading process. Of course, some cats are more enthusiastic than others. What if the massage starts to feel a little too enthusiastic? Don't punish your cat or push them away. They won't understand because they're trying to show you affection. The best thing to do is gently put a thick blanket or towel between their paws and your skin. Also, keeping their claws trimmed will make things much more comfortable for everyone. Even with the occasional discomfort, kneading is one of the sweetest and most endearing cat behaviours. It's a moment of connection with your pet when they're showing you just how much they care. And honestly, for moments like that, a few little scratches are worth it, right? All right, here's the translation, aimed at sounding natural and suitable for a voiceover. We're nearing the finish line of our quirky journey into the world of cat habits and taking home the silver medal in our top smeshnych, funny habits of house cats, is their unbelievable, almost acrobatic ability to sleep in the most improbable, unimaginable and seemingly uncomfortable positions and places. It's like the concept of an uncomfortable sleeping position simply doesn't exist for cats. They can contort their bodies into a pretzel, defying all the laws of anatomy and gravity. You might find your furry friend curled up in a tiny box, looking like a perfectly round croissant, or stretched out along the narrow back of the couch, balancing precariously like a seasoned tightrope walker. And what about sleeping belly up, paws splayed out, as if they just surrendered in an epic battle with an invisible foe. Maybe your cat prefers to dangle off the edge of a shelf, head and paws suspended in mid-air, while they snore away. Watching these sleepy gymnastics, you can't help but smile and wonder, how on earth can that possibly be comfortable? And their choice of sleeping spots is just as unique. Forget that expensive cat bed you bought. Chances are it'll be completely ignored. Instead, your cat will happily settle into the bathroom sink, on a pile of freshly ironed laundry, again, inside the washing machine drum, unplugged of course, on your laptop keyboard, in a flower pot, or even on a bookshelf between classic novels. It often seems like the stranger and less suitable the spot, the more appealing it is for a cat nap. They might doze off on a radiator, basking in the sun on a windowsill, or curl up in your sock drawer. So why do cats sleep in these bizarre positions and places? Firstly, it's all about their incredible flexibility. Cats have super elastic ligaments and a unique spinal structure, allowing them to bend and stretch in ways that would make a yoga instructor jealous. This flexibility is a legacy of their hunting past, helping them squeeze into tight spaces in search of prey or shelter. Secondly, their choice of sleeping spot is often dictated by the search for warmth, security, and comfort in their own feline way. The sink might be cool in hot weather, and a pile of laundry is soft and warm. Small spaces give them a sense of security like a den, and sometimes they simply want to be close to you, so they choose your belongings or places where you spend a lot of time. Also, sleeping in vulnerable positions, like on their back, is a sign of complete trust in their environment and in you. It means your cat feels completely safe. Every time we find our cat sleeping in another bizarre pose, we can't help but be amazed by their creativity and ability to find comfort where you wouldn't expect it. These sleepy acrobats give us so many funny moments and photo opportunities. And it's definitely one of those charming quirks that make us adore our perfect little sleep masters. All right, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please. We've reached the top spot on our countdown. Taking first place for the funniest, most bizarre and unforgettable cat habits is theyre. Totally inexplicable, often panicked, but always hilarious reaction to everyday objects. Yep, you guessed it. You've probably seen it online, or maybe even witnessed it firsthand. Your brave and mighty house panther suddenly leaping for the ceiling, arching its back, hissing and puffing up its tail at the sight of a perfectly innocent cucumber sneakily placed behind it. Or maybe you've seen the full-blown theatrical performance, complete with battle cries and strategic retreats, when you just turn on the vacuum cleaner. That roaring, monstrous thing. And bananas! Don't even get them started. For some cats, a banana is basically the spawn of the devil. This also includes the sudden terror of balloons, rustling plastic bags, new furniture, or even their own reflection in the mirror, which they're prepared to fight to the death. These moments are pure, unadulterated comedic gold, guaranteed to bring tears to your eyes. So why do they do it? What's so terrifying about these seemingly harmless things? Scientists and animal behaviourists are still debating and offering various theories. One of the most popular explanations for the cucumber panic is that they instinctively resemble snakes, ancient and dangerous predators. The sudden appearance of such a snake-like object near their food or resting place triggers a reflex of fear and a desperate need to escape. It's pure survival instinct. As for the vacuum cleaner, it's a bit simpler, but no less dramatic for the cat. To them, it's a giant, incredibly loud, randomly appearing monster that moves around, sucks up air, and invades their personal, carefully marked territory. Naturally, this encounter causes stress and the desire to hide as far away as possible. Rustling plastic bags might sound like hisses or other threatening noises, and balloons are unpredictable flying objects that could pop at any moment. Even new furniture can trigger suspicion, because it smells different and disrupts the familiar order of their territory. But whatever the scientific explanation, watching this feline drama unfold, witnessing those lightning-fast jumps, wide-eyed terror, and surprised little faces is truly priceless. It's when you realise that logic and cats don't always go hand in hand, and it's this unpredictability, this blend of predator grace and comical fear of everyday things that makes them so unique, so charming, and so utterly lovable. Talk about a plot twist, right? A simple cucumber or a vacuum cleaner can unleash a whirlwind of emotion and turn your cat into an internet sensation. And that, without a doubt, is the funniest and most memorable cat habit worthy of the top spot in our countdown. And here it is, the winner of our top list. Taking the #1 spot for the funniest cat habits is the inexplicable, panicked, but incredibly hilarious reaction to everyday objects. You've definitely seen the videos of cats leaping sky high at the sight of a simple cucumber, or how they put on a full-blown performance, complete with battle cries, when the vacuum cleaner comes on. These moments are pure gold in the world of feline humour. Why does this happen? Scientists are still debating. One theory suggests that long, green objects instinctively remind them of snakes, their ancient enemies. And the vacuum cleaner? Well, to them, it's just a massive, noisy, and completely incomprehensible monster invading their territory. But watching this feline drama, these jumps and surprised faces, it's truly priceless. It's that moment when you realise that logic and cats aren't always compatible, and that's exactly what makes them so endearing. Talk about a plot twist, right? An ordinary cucumber can unleash a storm of emotions. So, that was our top 10 list of the funniest habits of house cats. I'm sure many of you recognised your own furry friends in these descriptions. And maybe your cat does something even more original. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. I hope it brightened your day. If you enjoyed it and smiled even once, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new funny and informative episodes about our smaller companions. What are some of the funniest habits of your cats? Maybe they do something totally unique. Share your stories in the comments below this video. Let's laugh together and discuss these amazing, hilarious, and endlessly loved creatures. We're really looking forward to reading them.